I'm wanting to put a decoder in this Hornby J83 tank engine. It's a railroad. There isn't very much room inside there, and I'm going to have to hardwire it. I've taken this device out. There isn't very much room for the decoder. The decoder that I'm going to put in this is a Rails of Sheffield 6-pin, because it's nice and small. I'm going to put it onto a socket like that. If I can get the thing in, there we go. And then I'm going to hardwire that in there, so that should fit quite neatly, soldered in. I like these Rails decoders because they're not the most expensive, but because they're made by DCC Concepts, they're pretty good. They can be altered quite well, quite easily. You can increase or decrease the running speeds and acceleration and all those things. They are pretty good, so it'll do the job. And it's nice and small like that to go in there, which is what I want. There are others on the market that are a similar sort of size and a similar sort of price, a little bit cheaper maybe, but I know these are good. I know what we're doing with these, so that's the preference. The connections for those, the colours are the same on all of them as far as I'm aware. So that's the 6-pin connections, and orange is motor 1, grey is motor 2, red is right rail, and black is left rail. That's it, simple. So with the cables on the motor chassis, I shall be connecting, that's the right rail, that's the left rail, and that would be connected to the right side, and that's connected to the left side. It's pretty straightforward, really. And as I say, the cables that are used are the grey, the orange, the black and the red. I've decided to solder directly to the motor terminals, so I need to remove these. And then put a bit of solder on to the cables. So I get a bit of solder onto these and pop them onto the motor. There we are, right and left motor, or top and bottom, or whichever description you want to put them. And the next two are the red and black to the right and left rails. And the white and the yellow, in this case, are surplus to requirements. There's two things you can do with those. You can either cut them off short, you're never going to use this socket again, or you can leave a little bit on there. You can leave it all on if there's room. It's entirely up to you whether you want to reuse it, maybe at another date, but you can always attach longer cables or more cable to it at another time. But I'm going to cut it at about, I don't know, about here, and then I'm going to pop some insulation on the end, some nail varnish, I think, just to make sure they don't short anywhere. So yeah, I think I'll cut them at that. There, and I shall put some nail varnish on those cut those. I could wire those directly to the connectors as well. I hadn't thought about that. I think that's what I will do. I will put that directly to there, get rid of that other piece, and just pop it on there like that, and that's a nice neat job then. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, so there we are. That's soldered directly to the pickups, both sides. So I've taken off the original cable. It was easier to do it that way, and then all I have to do now is to insulate the ends of those with a little bit of nail varnish. It's a cracking colour this, don't you think? It matches my eyes. There we go. And then when that's dry, that should not cause any problems. Now, when I put that engine cover on, that should sit there quite happily and not cause any trouble. I might put a little bit of tape across there to hold it in place, or a bit of blue tack or something like that, black tack. Okay, that's dry now. Now all I need to do is to see if I can get that easily on. The case on this tank engine was quite difficult to get off. It was a struggle because it has the one peg at the back that you would push in, that locates in that, and two at the front. I found it very difficult to compress that, to get that off from the back, and I struggled, but I got it off at the front with a little bit of gentle persuasion, but it was really difficult to get off, so beware. I need a screwdriver to just prise that up as it goes in. I've lost the coach line across the back of it doing it that way, but I think it's better to do it that way than use the front, because they are quite slim and I suspect they're susceptible to breaking. But there we go, it's back on. Hopefully I shouldn't have to take that off again unless I want to do a little bit of maintenance or retrieve the decoder maybe, but that should work absolutely fine. There shouldn't be a problem with that. I have another one to do actually, same engine. This was the one that came from Hornby. It's the Beatles special, and the young man that I do these engines maintenance for has decided he wanted it all black, so he's done it just like that, painted out. It looks quite good actually. Similar problems with as with that one, getting it off because it's the same chassis and it's these pegs. And again, I've removed the suppressor, because I don't need those, not with DCC. And I'll do exactly the same with this, and I'll just replace them, these cables, take them off and put them directly onto the contacts and the motor contacts. And we should be fine. That's it, that's my rest of my job for this afternoon. I have another one. I've got a Bachmann split chassis, which I'm going to do, and that is quite complicated. I've done them before, split chassis Bachmanns, and each one's slightly different, but this one I've never seen anything like it, so it will be quite interesting to see whether I can get it converted and no shorts or anything like that. That's not me with no shorts, by the way. That's me. No shorts on the engine. Okie dokie. See you later.